anything like me, or just thinking, wow, thank God for HVAC people, then you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Glad to have you here. It is a scorcher over here at the studio. The AC is out, and it's you see the flag waving majestically behind me. That is because I have a fan blowing in my direction. In my direction right now, and we're just going to have to deal with it because life, as my late father said, life happens when you're making other plans. So it's kind of moving around the background, kind of majestically flying the Arizona state flag, the beautiful state 48. And I'm glad you guys had a chance to meet Chase. Chase is somebody I'm going to be working with through the next couple of months, and hopefully hopefully I get to volunteer on some of his missions to serve those that serve their nation and were wounded in battle. And excuse me, we get to get them on some guided hunts. So that should be hopefully something I get to take advantage of and have some fun with. What's up, Rhonda? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out. I did get a chance last time because I have so many cooking adventures in my life, and I think that cooking is such a big part of our outdoor world because the adventure of hunting does not end. The adventure of fishing does not end with actually harvesting an animal. It doesn't stop there. It gets into the kitchen. It gets to serving friends and family. It gets to storytelling. It's memories. There's so much more involved to it. So, wait a second. Hold on. You can start here with helping me get back into bird hunting. Jim, I'm your man, brother. Let's get something. Let's get something going. The second half of the dove season, if we can get that going. Second half of the dove season, we will do. Let's see, when's that start? The weekend before Thanksgiving. So I might be able to get out and maybe throw some lead up in the air and see if we can knock some birds down. I can get you back into that. So go ahead and send me another email to Mike at gomikerussell.com, and we can make it happen. We get Grizz out there, maybe get some peeps out there, and we'll just have some fun. Let's have little breakfast tacos and enjoy ourselves, and hopefully knock some birds down, put some deeks out. I think it's a good thing. But it doesn't end there. It just doesn't end at the take or the harvesting of an animal, even the processing. That's the work. Then you get to enjoy and share and gather and do all of that. And I think it's something that you need to do. I was a little worried. This is not game meat, but I was worried, even though I have the Green Mountain Grill, the greatest pellet grill there is. I have the Green Mountain Grill, and I got an OG Green Mountain still cruising right along. I have never done an overnight brisket. I've never done brisket is probably the hardest thing you can cook. And I was dumb enough to do that. If you remember last week when I was thinking, I was told that Queen Bee and Queen Bee's kids were like, on my cooking, because most of it's game meat and most of it is stuff that they're not used to. And including the fact that I believe that I can honor my harvest. I can honor that animal by not drowning it in sauce, by not drowning it in seasoning. Let me taste what it was supposed, how God intended it to be tasted. And so I had to kind of rethink my cooking strategy, as I want to, obviously, is one of my love languages. I want to cook for my people and my tribe. So dumb as I am, I pick the most difficult thing you could possibly barbecue to kind of start back on the path of, come on, hang out. Mike can cook. Mike's going to cook stuff that you like. And I chose a brisket. Wow. That was a ton of work. And that was a lot of work. Worth it every single which way you can possibly be worth it. And it came out great. And I was very excited about that. So, but woof, man, it was hit and miss. What up, Greg? Grizz, it was hit and miss. What I did learn, and now what I'm going to be taking, and you're going to hear some clinking and clacking in the background with the guys working on the AC. What I did learn is something so valuable, and I did not think of this. I really didn't, but now I'm like, I'm in. I actually bought solid mason jars for this, and this exactly is beef tallow. So what tallow is rendered beef fat, and it is liquid gold. So what I did when I carved, and I'm going to do this with my any fat that I have, any pork that I have, anything. If I've got to shave something down and take some of the fat off of something, I do not take all the fat off. More fat, more better for me. But as far as cooking for the masses, some people don't like it as fatty as I do. So trim it so it gets a nice smoke. I took all of the fat trimmings and I put it in a disposable tin, like a lasagna dish, right? And I threw it on the smoker with the brisket. And that rendered down. And I just poured that beautiful gold rendering juice right into a coffee filter on top of a mason jar, filled it about 2/3 of the way up. And now I have wildly better than butter, better than any cooking oil you could possibly have. Anything, just take a little scoop, pop right in the pan, render down this beautiful cooking oil that is good in damn near anything. I have that, and I have my bacon rendering. So I have bacon fat, and I have beef tallow, and I'm so excited. I am so excited. I talked to you guys about my fasting schedule and all that. So after these shows today, I'm going to eat for the first time since Sunday afternoon. So I am going to, it's going to be so good. I'm taking a little bit of that beef tallow. I'm going to throw it in the pan, get it nice and lubed up. I'm going to throw a little bit of chorizo that I made, homemade chorizo with Watusi meat. And I'm going to put some egg in there and a whole avocado. Boom. It's going to be, I am so excited to eat. You guys have no idea. Very, very excited to eat. But I'm a big, take a little bit of, a little bit of that beef tallow, throw some rosemary in it, and use it to make popcorn. Are you bleeping kidding me, Brendan? Dude, I think you might have just changed my damn world. I'm trying to stay healthy, but that just sounds like popcorn is going to go to a whole new level. Make some popcorn, a little bit of rosemary, and it just stop right now. I got a rosemary bush right up front. Holy cow. Mm-hmm. Oh, we saw some people dehydrating stuff. Yeah. They dehydrate chili, not chilies. Regular chili looks amazing. Oh, okay. I still have 3 whole things of soup that are dehydrated and just sitting in the pantry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically just chop that into dust and put it in a vacuum sealer and just keep it forever. I mean, you find a good deal when it comes to dehydrating stuff, and like whether you guys call it prepping, whatever you want to call it. I just, if you find like a Campbell's chunky soup 99-cent deal, dude, go spend the $20-$30 and just have yourself set up for a very, very long time and dehydrate all of that stuff. Yes. And you're right, Jim. Brendan, that does sound amazing. Yes. Lynn, you missed us talking about rendering fat down. So it's liquid gold. Tomorrow I'll bring it on the show so you just see what it is. It just looks like, and I think they sell something like it. It's called Bacon Up. I haven't seen that before, but still Bacon Up is, I don't trust. It's still manufactured. It's still processed. It's still all that stuff. I'd rather do it myself. I'd rather have my own stuff. I've got a flat iron skillet that I like to cook things on. So I like to put that on there first. So yeah, Grizz, if the apocalypse comes, you might have to be our first sacrifice, buddy. We're coming at you. I kid because I love it. It's definitely, I have a list. I have a list. None of you are on it. It's okay. I kid because I love it. It's like that movie, The Purge. You guys ever seen that? Some freaky stuff, man. If you don't know the concept of it, it's like a 24, 48-hour period where there's no law. You can just go and take out whoever the hell you want to take out. Yeah, not good. No, not good. All right, let's get to it, because this is something that is was interesting when I saw, because I am, as Jim mentioned, he wanted to get in Grizz. I know you wanted to get into the bird hunting as well. Here was the headline that just hooked me, right? Here's what firing 1,000 rounds a day in Argentina will teach you about wing shooting. Now, let me explain before we start to have a little freak out on 1,000 rounds a day. I'm not shooting 1,000 rounds a day. My cabeza cannot take that. There's no way in hell. I mean, 100 rounds, and I'm like, I like Chester Cheetah, right? I was thinking, oh man, it's absolutely terrible. So this guy went to Argentina. And when you think about Argentina, I want you to think about Yuma, Arizona. Yuma and in Argentina are about the same, or at least have been the same. There's been some changes in Yuma that have kind of slowed down the bird population there. But as far as dove hunting goes, it's Argentina and Yuma. You go to the Yuma airport, the airport in Yuma, it's all G5s and private jets on September 1st, on the opening day of dove season. They're everywhere. People come from all around. The entire town's economy is produce and dove season. Okay. So we get down to, we go down to Argentina. Argentina is wide open. Like there's just a dove flight that is, it's almost arcade-like. The author of this article said there's just no, it was not hunting. It's just, you're just going in. And this is an interesting thing. My wallet can't take that volume. Me neither. I mean, you get 1,000 rounds for probably $200, but $200 a day, damn. You know, and a lot of these places you go, if you see a deal at a banquet or something like that, or some outdoor event, you see some sort of deal that says Argentina wing shooting, and it's absurd. Like all meals included, 7 days, 6 nights for like $500. And you're like, is this a cartel kind of thing? Almost. It's not a cartel thing, but how about this? You have to buy your ammo from them. That's where they make their money. You buy your ammo from them. So that's where you get, because you can't take the ammo down there. You have to buy it there. And it's, I don't even know how much a box. It's got to be a lot. But if you do that and you go through 1,000 rounds like this guy did, maybe it's him and his buddy, you go through 1,000 rounds, you'll learn a lot about your shooting. Come hell or high water, you're going to learn a lot about your shooting. And this is what the guy learned. And it's fun. But these guys are shooting with extended tubes in their beds. Like here in Arizona, you can only have 3 shotgun shells in your shotgun at all times. This guy can put up to 10 to 12 in his, because he bought the extended tube, and in Argentina, it's wide open. So this guy said the first flight goes by and he doesn't really take any shooters. That guy fired off 10 rounds. Pop, 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 pop. He said 6 birds dropped. I'm like, damn, all right. I'm hunting with this guy. This guy's going to bring home some bacon, right? He said this. He said, my first lesson is, if you ever get the chance to take a wing shoot trip to Argentina, you should do it. He said there are approximately 50 million dove in the country. And because they reproduce so quickly, they have like 3 or 4 hatches a year. There's no limit to how many you can shoot. He said, I wouldn't necessarily call it hunting, but it's a unique wing shoot experience. Plus, the farmers there say it is a useful depredation tool, and the locals like the meat. You can just donate, because I mean, I'm not taking 200 dove breasts out there. Good gravy, that's a lot. But here's what I got excited about, and here's what I thought that I could take away from this, and I hope you can take away from this too. Is you'll find your flow state. Now, I don't know if any of you are runners. I think Grizz and I are in the same camp here. We're not runners. Holy mackerel. Schleprock did shoot like that. He definitely did. And it was, I'm sorry. Hold on a second here. Wasn't it run under a dictator? I don't know. I don't know what Argentina's politics are, but I know they have great wing shooting. That's basically the way it goes. And if it's the dictator that's selling the ammo and I'm down there in a wing shoot, I'm buying, what do they call them? Dictator rounds. Whatever it is. I don't worry about politics on this. But, yeah, Grizz and I are like, if you see Grizz and I running at all, at any time, call the cops, because we are being chased and we're out of ammunition. Period. That's how it goes. Yeah. Wait, you're not allowed to run. Yeah. The age is just, I mean, Rhonda, but you can't be a day over 25. So I think you should get a second opinion on that. Okay, let's go on to what this flow state thing. I got to ask Queen Bee about this, because I didn't know what flow state was, because I don't run. She is a runner. She runs. Like, I remember early on in our relationship, she's like, yeah, I didn't go to that marathon, but I think I'm going to run a half marathon tomorrow just to make up for it. I'm like, wait, what? I'm going to wake up and do this 13 miles or whatever. Like, it's nothing. Like, it's no big deal. So here's the thing with the flow state. Apparently, when you run and you run for a distance, you reach something called flow state, which in my opinion it sounds a lot like hypnosis, but you get into something called a flow state where you're not worrying about your form, you're not worried about your breathing, you're just going. You're just doing. And I thought that was an interesting thing, because why couldn't we do that in dove hunting? Like, why can't you reach that? Why do you have to go to Argentina and reach a flow state where he said all these giant flights of birds are coming through, just giant flights, hundreds of birds. And he said he got to the point where he wasn't thinking about his swing. He wasn't thinking about his lead. He was just getting the barrel to the bird and just pop, done. One at a time, pop, done. One at a time, pop. And it was just easy. He wasn't thinking about the mounting on his shoulder. He wasn't thinking about anything. And it was just flowing through it. Kind of like finding the zone in sports, right? And I remember Michael Jordan talk about that. He said he said times you're in the zone, he goes, the rim just like this, looks like this big old bucket, and you can hit from anywhere. And so, okay, second wind is what they call that in the Army. Used to get it a couple hundred meters every day. Yeah. And Jim, we don't know meters, buddy. What miles, meters, yards? What's a meter? And I kid. So, but you get in that same flow state. It's a lot like why I've always thought, maybe it's to loosen up muscles is really what I thought that was. Why pros and people that take golf rounds very seriously is they're out there hitting a bucket of balls before they go hit the first tee. I'm grabbing coffee and some snacks for the day. I'm looking around, maybe doing a little bit of, kind of loosen it up a little bit, loosen it up. What they could be doing is getting into that flow state. Like, boom, I'm now one with the game, right? So now I'll stop looking at those guys funny when I see them doing that. But the flow state thing is apparently a thing, and it can be a thing if you're out there taking a bunch of shots. I think what that really does is it would tell me early on if I can't go the day before and get a lot of rounds off at Ben Avery or do some clay shooting in the desert. It shows me that just don't be stingy with your shots at the beginning of the morning. Shoot, find that flow state, and you could probably limit out at the end of the flight. Yeah. Don't know what's the meter with you. Say, here we go. That's what I get. That's what I get when I do, is when I open myself up to you clowns. Or I just make fun of. We invented the metric system in the United States. We're the only nation in the world that doesn't use it. Why? Because we're Americans, damn it, and we're stubborn. Yeah. Take your metric system. I don't want to deal with any of that noise. Yeah. From anxious about the round. Oh, on the golf front. Say anxious about the round. Buddy, let me tell you something, Brendan. I'm never anxious about a golf round. I've been playing since I was 7. I'm a mid-80s golfer. I haven't played in years, so I would probably have to find that again. But there's zero adrenaline about the round, because quite literally, I now got to the point where I played so much, I wasn't even keeping score. I was just out there to smack the ball around. If I had to kick one little, use a little foot wedge every now and again to get it off the rough, I'd do it. I wouldn't care. I was spending $150 for a round. I was out there to have fun. Where's the beer cart kind of thing. How was it? There was little things. The only anxiety was how soon the beer cart would show up in my round. Or like we mentioned earlier, if my grandfather, when I was 9, had the little brown paper bag for me to drink that wonderful elixir that tasted like candy canes. Oh my gosh. Let's see, Rhonda, who said that? Was that I want to say it was who said it? Will Rogers. Did I get that right? Roy Rogers, sorry. Might have been Will Rogers. I don't know. Might have been his lesser known brother. Who knows? Said golf is I don't know who said it. Golf is a good walk ruined, or a nice walk ruined. Absolutely. Yeah. But it was funny. I actually have a golf course right in my backyard. So I mean, I could do some ninja golfing like I used to. Yeah, we used to take glow sticks, and we would put them in the hole, and then we'd walk back, and we would just we just play night golf. You get wet a lot because the sprinklers just have a tendency to kick on. Anyway, back to flow state, and that is I think that is a really interesting thing that you just keep going. You will shoot with a sustained lead, like you'll find it. And he said the biggest thing he found after 1,000 rounds in a day, and this is good, recoil matters. And the following thing about this is this goes with a handgun, this goes with a hunting rifle, and definitely a shotgun. Recoil always matters. Heavier guns have less recoil and are easier to shoot, especially if you're dealing with semi-auto. If you're dealing with semi-auto, it's easier to get back on target or to your next target if the gun is heavier and has less recoil. And you're able to move your right arm the next day. That's also a good thing as well. Yeah. 98 average on 9 holes. There you go. Yeah. I always said that. What'd you shoot? And they're like, oh, I shot an 82. I'm like, what'd you shoot on the back 9? Yeah. Golf is as brutal as anything in our outdoor world. I guess we can count golf as getting outdoors. Another thing though, and this is important to note when it comes to wing shooting, is to me is just as, unless I pay for a trip to Argentina, to me, it is just as fun as golf because I don't care if I limit out. I'm out there to have fun. The experience of wing shooting is like the experience of going golfing to me. I'm there to have fun. I'm not taking it too seriously. And I just know that I can come out tomorrow anytime I want to. I come out the next day. I can just, whatever. If it's not a good day today, no big deal. I mean, the best I've ever shot is one time I went out with Tequila Jim in the East Valley, and I had I thought that I'd put 2 boxes of shells in my truck, but I didn't. So all I had was, I believe I had like 17 rounds. I had 17 shotgun shells, and that's it. And your limit is 15. So that day I was so selective of every shot that I took. I passed on birds because it wasn't the shot that I really liked. It wasn't my, I got this, kind of if you ever played basketball like I did, you would have, if you're having a bad day shooting, there's this one shot that you could go to, like a little, 10-foot jumper, whatever it is. And you can hit that a couple of times and then that gets your confidence back. I was waiting for that little 10-foot jumper every time. I shot 11 birds in 17 rounds. That was the best I've ever shot because I was just being selective and I wasn't just woohoo out there shooting around like Schleprock. Introduces friends to firearms and firearm safety. Nice. Big round of applause for Rhonda's boy. Hell yeah. Yeah. Introduced one of his friends to firearms and firearm safety, like I did with Rob, like it was my buddy Ron. I actually took my buddy Ron and his wife. They're from Southern California. I took them, they came out here. I took them to Ben Avery, and we were on the sporting clays course. So you go, it's about a half-mile like circle, right? And we get all the way out to the furthest point of this course, and it starts pouring down rain. So the only cover we had was a porta potty. So the 3 of us are standing in the porta potty holding our guns like this. It was a very bonding experience. Very bonding, but they did love the shooting part of it, not so much in the stinky outhouse. And we're gonna go sit in the portalet for 30 minutes until this thing passes through. Oh, it was awful. Thank God it was only like a 5-10 minute little spritz, but we were done. XD9 with the added weight of the flashlight, lower recoil. That's right, on the rail. I'm telling you, the heavier the firearm, the better. That's why I was laughing at these little tiny, like micro 9s and stuff that I'm not saying unintelligent, uninformed men buy the women of their life thinking that this is a dainty little gun. They're just going to be fine. They're going to love it. Hell no. That thing kicks like a mule. Pop. You said, what the hell? There's 0 weight to it. More weight, more better. So I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, nice, Chris. Chris, I'm not going to post that. But he said that shitty. It was a shitty outing. Yeah, it really was. It was kind of crappy, but it's okay. And of course, you do know where the word crap comes from. Sir Thomas Crapper was the inventor of the flushable toilet. So that's where crap comes from. Crapper. Nothing since friends with like 3 dudes held up in a porta john with shotguns. Brother, it was 2 best friends and a wife. I was mortified. I felt, God love you, Katie, if you're watching this. I was mortified. I'm like, bro, I'm really sorry, Ron, that I have your wife here in a damn poop house as we're holding this thing. Oh man, yes. Carlos just went to bed, Avery. I want to learn how to shoot. I'm going to learn by volunteering in the skeet range. Buddy, Carlos, I got to tell you this, my man, skeet is probably the hardest way to learn. Skeet is incredible. It's hard. Yeah, volunteering, I like that. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to listen and understand. If you get skeet down as your first time out shotgunning, you're going to be a legend when you jump into trap in the sporting courses. I mean, you're not going to miss. There's no way you'd miss. Yeah, because I'm that is probably the hardest clay at Ben Avery. If you're looking at the trap and skeet ranges, like you got your back to the center where you go and you pay for all your stuff, all the way to the right, all the way closest to the entry is the Olympic trap course. Dude, those things come out like it's 70 miles an hour. Like if you're not on it, you're toast. But you watch these little junior Olympians and these Olympians, it's just pop, pop, pop. It's unbelievable. It's so much fun. But I gotta tell you, do you use pump or semi-auto when skeet shooting? I use a semi-auto now. I had my Remington Wingmaster since I was 13 years old, my pump Remington Wingmaster. I hunted with that exclusively until I had my brain surgeries. And I found that Beretta made something called a kickoff, which lowered the recoil by like 40 to 50%. It's a game changer. So I put in the money for that, and that was probably the right move. So I got semi-auto now at 20 and at 12. I actually have a Browning Satori, which I think is the most beautiful shotgun you could have. I love the Browning Satori, but it's just I don't shoot anymore because it doesn't have that kickoff. It's just it's because I push like this. I mean the butt of the gun's like this, and that's right to the jaw to that. It's just a bad thing. Yeah. Brought my son out to shoot clay pigeons years ago. They said my son was knocking them down with ease, and they were struggling. I'm telling you, kids and females are better shooter than grown men. I'm telling you, because they take instruction, they're listening, they're really giving it a shot. They have zero ego in it, and they just listen and they do it. Yeah. Every weekend it's my alarm clock. Oh, God bless you. I'd love to wake up to the sound of Ben Avery range. The worst at Ben Avery, and we got to get out of here, but the worst at Ben Avery is the dove and quail that are just hanging out on the sporting course. They're just hanging out, flying around like you can't touch me. I'm like, dude, I have a shotgun aimed in your direction. You don't care. They don't care. Where are they during dove season? All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We got two really interesting things to talk about tomorrow that we were going to talk about today, but it went woohoo in exactly the way I like it to go with you guys as we get to play along. This is your show as much as email address again. A couple of things to send you. Here we go. Mike@gomikerussell.com. For anything that you'd like, Mike@gomikerussell.com. Check that once a day, and I will get back to you. So we'll go from there. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about I'm not kidding, a catfish smuggling ring. You heard that right, a catfish smuggling ring. And I'm telling you, if you don't own headlamps, you and I are going to have a talk. They're not just for hiking and camping. We're going to talk about the multi-uses and probably the best ones to get. All right, y'all. You guys are amazing. Thank you for playing along. We'll do this tomorrow at 11 right here on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Have a great afternoon, everybody. See you tomorrow.